Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Hogarth's Global Astrology. No introduction required for this gentleman who is joining me here tonight. You've all come to know him very well, and his channel is still growing. We were having a nice little chit chat just backstage. So here we are with Kevin of the Healing Medium, and we're collaborating again to just because we just like doing shows together. It's so much fun. But also as well, it gives us a chance as well, or gives you guys a chance to have some personal questions answered. So if there's anything you want us to pull on, please ask us in the chat. And we'll start with a bit of politics as well, because we need to talk about Duck Larange, aka Donald Trump. But before we begin that, how have things been, Kevin, since I last saw you? What you've been up to?
Good. Well, you know what? It's so. First of all, thank you so much for having me. It's always wonderful, and you're right. I enjoy reading with you as well, and then that aspect of I don't even want to say going out of my comfort zone as far as politics, but thank you, Cheryl. So kind.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Very kind.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm enjoying it more and more, which is really interesting. I have limited knowledge around politics and a little bit less around the structure and the process in the US. I'm in Canada. And so it's quite different in our country than it is in the US. But nonetheless, I took a residency, if you will, with my friends Debbie, Freebird Spirit, and Lisa, Spirit Intuitive Tarot, on the Couch, which is a show that happens every Sunday. And there's a lot of politics. It's mainly politics and cultural or current events, if you will. And so I've just been dabbling into it a little bit more and more and more. And of course, on the show, we do it as well. So it's good. I'm actually a bit surprised in it how, because here's the thing, I go into so many of them as cold can be, because I don't know the background. I don't know the story behind it, but I'm still able to tune into the energy in this moment. So yeah, it's been good. So things have been busy. Things have been, like you said, growing on my channel, which has been wonderful. I've kind of created this series of having people on, and you were a guest on my channel, which we'll love to have you back.
Oh yes, I'd love to come back. Yeah,
because it was like, and here's the thing: what was really nice about it is, and it kind of organically grew. Part of it is getting to know different people and sharing their spiritual journey and the kind of the ups and downs of that. And people really love that. So it's really relatable. And so, yeah, lots of readings, lots of mediumship and psychic stuff, a little bit of politics, and lots of conversation. So it's been good. I've been busy.
Brilliant. And what we have here is that's fantastic. And so what we have here with Albie Webb, she said, "Can I have a card, please?" But Albie, on what? So let us know what you'd like to pull on. That'll be good.
Yeah.
Right. So we've got the show up and started. So we're going to start. We'll do the usual, which is like to top and tail with a bit of politics. Now, thankfully, in a way, I'm sure many would agree, the temperature has gone down a little bit, thank goodness. And it seems like at last, maybe not completely, but it seems like the fever around Duck Larange, Trump. Yep, sorry, let me just put on a little bit of lip balm here, so lips a little bit dry. And but it seems like the fever, the rabid heat that has been around Duck Larange for so long, where these people have basically been prepared to sacrifice themselves, their career, any dignity that they have for this man. At last, the critique is starting to come out, and it's only taking them for Trump to make them lose 3 times in key successive kind of states for them to realize, maybe Duck Larange isn't the best guy for us after all.
Imagine that.
Crazy. Indeed. So even more has sort of, I was just catching up on the news. And even more has gone wrong for him in the court. So the Supreme Court has ruled that the House can view Trump's tax returns.
Oh, yeah.
So that's something they've wanted for ages. Now, we know the House is only going to stay under Democrat rule for, a month and loose change. January, it all hands over. But still, that's time to have a look at things. Also made a note here, the appeals court seems skeptical about Trump's special master's plea. So this is all to do with the Mar-a-Lago, the papers where he was caught more than red-handed. Lindsey Graham was forced to testify against the in the Georgia's grand special jury in Fulton County. He tried to avoid that. And Mark Meadows has had his second bid to block the subpoena which was given to him by the Jan 6th committee. Yeah, so a lot going on. But you know what I found most interesting? I looked back and I checked the video. So this was a video that I made on the 26th of August, 2021, which seems like a lifetime ago now. And in this video, I was comparing the charts of Melania Trump and Donald Trump, Duck l'Orange. So here they are here. Here they are here. These are the two charts, Now, people at the time were asking me, when would Trump be brought to justice, When will he finally be brought to justice? Now, obviously, a lot has happened since then, and this guy is still not behind bars. Now, do you notice here where you see this pink line? Yeah, do you see that?
Yeah.
Right? Now, what I said here is I said, look, he's still going to be protected for a while. The heat on him will gradually increase. But I said here on 22nd of October, 2023, things will begin to change. Wow. Because he goes into this energy sequence, which is Jupiter K2. Now, Jupiter is a lucky planet, but K2 I call snip, snip. Yeah. And I said, when he enters this time period in October, I said, that's really when the you-know-what is going to hit the fan properly, where he will get it. And you know what they've just said on the news today? They said here, the New York trial date, the investigation into Trump's dealings and everything like that has now been set. And that trial date has now been set for October 2023.
Wow.
Just like I said.
Nailed it.
Yeah. People were just like, what? Can you imagine? I did this on the 26th of August, 2021.
Yeah.
So I said, guys, look, I know it's a long time, but this is when I really see the wagon wheels start coming off. And they just announced that on the news. It was either today or yesterday. So, of course, I was like, my God. So let's pull what I'll pull. And, of course, you'll be using your intuitive powers. And is this really it? This is what I want to ask. Will Trump finally be held accountable for all of the skullduggery he's done? My astrology was saying October 2023. It could be sooner than that, of course, because there's a new master. But let's look into that energy. So what do you get as a psychic hit?
I mean, because I heard the same thing. So focusing on the part about the taxes, I mean, in the humanness of it, I was like, Yahoo, when I read it. But then I instantly was aware of, I don't think that's going to be the part that actually sinks him, makes him accountable. So it's reassuring when you bring up the other things. That makes I get more of a hit on other things that he will be faced with. Because, for sure, there's the pressure. It just feels collectively, so many of them are feeling such a huge amount of pressure. Again, it's a bit of a time thing. You said it. That was 2 years ago. And now
It was what is it now? It was
Or
I
it'll
did
be
it on
2 years.
the 26th of October 2021. So obviously that is a year, and then August,
Yeah.
September, October, November. So it's a year and 3 months ago
Okay.
when I said that October 2023 would be when the wheels really start coming off.
Right.
But so we see. But what else were you getting? Sorry.
It just feels like, again, because it was interesting that I picked a card and it said within 2 years. So around that 2 years, so jumping from where you had said it in August to October of 2023, it's just over 2 years, right? I just feel
Yes.
Yeah. And in that, again, it just feels like, and that's specifically for, what did you say? Which part of is that the?
So what is he goes into an energetic window. So basically, Dr. Orange Trump has effectively had this quite a big protection from Jupiter overall. And he's currently in, I think he's in Jupiter Mercury, and Mercury sits in his 11th house. And the 11th house deals with friends and associates. It also deals with big money. Yeah. So it's like Mercury has still been sort of like saving him a bit, but
Right.
once he goes into 2023,
Okay.
that energy further deteriorates. I mean, we see it,
Yeah.
but that protection further deteriorates. But by the time he enters October 2023, he goes into this snip phase. And by that point, I mean, I think quite a lot of wheels would have fallen off already by that point, because they already are. But at that point, he won't have any major protection. And also as well, K2 in Trump's chart sits with the moon. And his moon is very fragile. The only thing that saves it is that it's in an angle. So he was born on an eclipse. So he's got K2 moon together. So when he goes into that K2 snip phase, there's very little. So we could see maybe even some kind of mental breakdown or just a complete. The moon as well also deals with real estate. Yeah. Moon can deal with real estate, and for Dr. Orange is in the 4th house, which also deals with real estate. Snip, coming along. And this New York court case, which deals with all of his real estate, has just been scheduled for October 2023. And I said in October, that's when he's really, this is when it's going to be about his wealth, his actual footprint on this earth. We'll see. He might get called up for other stuff, but definitely once he enters October 2023, it's basically.
And see, that's the key in the change of the direction of his energy, because as you tune in now to it, like he still has that ability to energetically like slow down time. And it's like the opposite of what's actually happening, where time is actually speeding up. So in it, it makes sense. Now, if I can share something, and this is for entertainment purposes only, I sat in meditation last night, and in it, what I want to share is it's interesting that we're talking about Duc L'Orange, and it's interesting that you said something about health, because, and for entertainment purposes only, I will show you what I wrote in that part right there. I did have a vision of him clutching his chest.
Yeah.
So in it, and I feel like that's in the next 2 years. Health is definitely
very interesting.
It's interesting,
especially when you see the cards that I've pulled. Now you've shown me that list, before you've seen my cards. Look what I've pulled. The first card that I get is the strength card. So Duc L'Orange quite literally is having to use all of his strength at the moment to try and stay afloat. I mean, look overall, look, irrespective, we know that he's a dangerous character. We know he is as dodgy as hell and stuff like that. But it's very interesting. But Duck Larange, Trump is a fighter. Yeah, he's been fighting for decades and decades. And it's very interesting as well, because in Vedic astrology, not Western, but in Vedic astrology, which is part of the true placements, Donald Trump is a Leo rising. Look at that. And this card is associated with Leo, as you can imagine. It's got a lion there. So he's having to strain every sinew. But you know what's really interesting is the obstacle card. And you know that you mentioned that you had this vision of him clutching his heart. Look what's turned up in the obstacle position for me.
Interesting.
Right. That's a little bit too much of a coincidence, isn't it?
That's
This
interesting.
is literally the card of heartbreak. Yeah, of course, emotional distress, heartbreak, sense of betrayal, but it literally is the heart. And you said,
yeah,
I think what will happen is Duck Larange knows now he has reached this tipping point of no return, where no matter how much he flaps, because even the senior justices didn't defend him. They said that the House could have his tax records. Yeah, these are the cray-crays who want, you know, Gilead and the Handmaid's Tale to come, but they've realized Trump is a sinking ship. Yeah, so very interesting. No matter how strong a person is, this relentless pressure has to give somewhere. Also, as well, if we look at the next card, another major arcana, but look, this time it is the Wheel of Fortune. So again, quite literally, his fortunes are changing. This can also have a lot to do with luck, but his Jupiterian luck is starting to run out, especially 2023 onwards, but especially once we hit October 2023, it's done. Ketu's going to come in and do a snip job, and it's just going to be even further down from there. And we can also see as well, because this is backed up by the Judgment card. So do you see more major arcana? That's 3 out of 5 major arcana. And then we've got here is the Ace of Pentacles. Sorry, the Page of Pentacles. Now, pages are all about messages. Yeah. So this is messaging around what? Duck Larange's money. Now, if this were a king card, this may suggest him preserving his money, but this one isn't. This would suggest that his money might reduce. Yeah, because it's a smaller card. It's of lesser rank. So there's something, a judgment around Trump's money and assets. Yeah, his luck is changing. He's having to use all of his strength, but it is taking a toll on his heart. How about that?
Interesting. I pulled one more card from the animal deck. Interesting one came up. The snake, which is very indicative of health, medical, and healing. So really interesting around that energy. I mean, the human body can only endure so much stress, no matter who you are. And in that, it just feels like that is, I mean, yeah, the collapse literally could definitely be something of nature. Interesting.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see here. Now, so guys, if you want to, pardon me, submit your questions. So anything you want us asking, I'll pull some tarot, and of course, Kevin will use his intuitive gifts. Let's see. So what's this? Tell me. Oh, okay. So some people are having a little chat amongst themselves in there.
Yeah.
Honestly, the chats are fabulous on here. There's stuff talking about shamanic courses here and this, that, and the other. Oh yeah, there's all sorts
it all.
going on. Oh, let's see. So Albie Webb, who said she wanted a card pulling for her, she says 2023. So obviously she wants to have an insight into how her 2023 is going. So let's have a look. I'm going to pull, and Kevin, of course, if you can use your intuitive skills.
What did you call her? What was her name?
So she is, here we are.
Albie
Webb.
Perfect.
Albie Webb. That's who we're pulling for. And I'll put a star there as well so we can remember. So what's Albie Webb's 2023 going to be like?
Mm. Right away, I heard LB for you. I don't know if you've been feeling influenced or encouraged, and maybe these are by your own thoughts or someone else, and or spirit, to really consider slowing the pace down. So there's something about you, quite simply going back to the breath. So a real invitation to slow things down and really be in this mindfulness of where you want to place your energy. In reflection, it feels like you've looked at where some of the energy that you've placed by choice has left you feeling a little bit empty, if you will. So in that, I did pull one of the cards, and it's the from the Crow deck, and it's the balance card. So I think that just validates the choice around that feeling of being able to slow things down. So going back to the breath can be a mindfulness, a meditation practice, just whatever brings you that back into the present moment, feels like the invite for you for 2023. And we don't have to wait till then, they're saying. You can actually start that right now if you do feel that resonates with you. So no need to wait till 2023, but it feels good in that, because as I feel into it a little bit more, it really allows you to take full responsibility in that creation of your life, where you get to choose where you place your energy. So that feels really good at any point. So I'll leave you with that. Feels good.
Cool. And I will show my cards as well. And we've got here Tal Offek as well, who's asking about their friend, and another person who's asked for a general kind of readout. Okay, so what I've got, what cards do I have? So of course I pulled 5 cards. So 2023, kind of looking around. But here, the signifier card that I've got here, it is the Queen of Coins. Yeah, the Queen of Pentacles. So again, this, it's a feminine card. It means the card often represents looking after a household, managing finances and stuff like that. So this would suggest, the names, was it Al? 1 second, let me just go here, start.
LB Webb.
Albie Webb. Yeah, there we are. Albie Webb. And so this could suggest that Albie is looking at her finances and trying to make sure that her budgets are balanced for next year. Because if we look here, the Queen is looking very closely at that pentacle. Do you see how much attention she's paying to it? So she's looking closely, and it's just like, right, okay, I want to make sure that I look after this. But it also shows as well prudence and wanting to be shrewd, wanting to be set up for 2023. Now, what's interesting here is that I've got the Hanged Man in the obstacle position. So major arcana. And it was quite interesting. You were talking about slowing down and stuff like that, because the Hanged Man is not a fast moving card. Yeah. Literally this card, it can mean having a change of perspective. But primarily it means halt, pause, yeah, reflect. But it has also turned up in the obstacle position as well. So there may be a sense as well where she could be feeling, where Albie might be feeling that slightly stuck, perhaps in some way, wanting to try and get that energy to move, maybe in connection with finances, yeah, because after all, the Queen of Pentacles is here. But it is also, this could also mean maybe looking at finances in a different way, looking at your finances from a different perspective. Maybe she's wanting to initiate some new business ideas or different ways of earning money, something like that, because the 2 cards have come together. And especially here, we see another queen that emerges here. And this time it's the Queen of Wands. But the Wands are all about passion, energy. It's about networking with people, being a good host, being a social butterfly. So there could be an element here as well, but the ones I also associate with entrepreneurship as well. So it looks like maybe Albie's got a business idea, or she's looking to do something dynamic with her finances in 2023 to kind of turn the wheel around. Now, the next card I get here is the Devil, yeah, in reverse. Yeah, so quite a strong card. So what this would suggest, though, it would also suggest, Albie, that you might have to you might have to let go of maybe some limiting beliefs, some limiting thoughts, some maybe there's some emotional blocks that need to be worked on and released. Something to do as well, maybe about your self-belief, or someone in the past that may have hurt you in some kind of way, and you're still struggling maybe to shrug that off. Maybe that's what this reading is about you kind of transcending some of those emotions or those psychological challenges or whatever they might be in order to make a fresh start. Because when we look at the next card here, you get the Ace of Swords. Great card. So this is also about the sword of truth and recovery. It can also mean as well where we leave behind victimhood. So it's quite interesting, isn't it, that it comes after the Devil in reverse. So there's definitely something here to do with some kind of relationship or toxic situation, and breaking through that toxic situation with the sword of truth. But it also means as well the mind. So this is very much about a new mindset for 2023. Anything else you want to?
Well, I think that all of that and what those cards just spoke to really speak to that part about really stepping into the energy of where you want to place your energy. So whether it be finances, whether it be relationship, all of that, I feel it comes back to you. And in that power, it was interesting. I pulled one more card from another animal deck, and there you go. It's the crow. And the crow in this deck is all about renewal and transformation. So I think it really does speak to what Spirit was saying there for you, Elby. So wonderful.
Wow.
Yeah.
So interesting, isn't it? How there can be that synchronicity there. What's this? Someone's writing here as well. Hi guys, having vivid dreams and voice telling me I was the power, but the power no more. Whoa. Who is this telling me that and why? Okay, we'll look at that. Let's click on some of the other ones that I've. So we did Albie.
Yeah. So and if I could just ask that if people are in the chat and are asking questions, if they could share just to be in some response, really helps with the communication, just in that validation, if you will. So if you're would be helpful to.
As we're reading, if it also is there. So let's see here. So someone else asks if they can have a general read as well. You know, why not? Why not? So we got here. So this is Sweet and Salty.
I love that name.
Has asked if they could have a general read as well. What a great name there for a profile name. So we'll do that, and then we'll get on to some of these other questions.
Sure.
Sweet and Salty general read.
Thank you, Elby. She did give some feedback, so that's so kind. Perfect.
Oh, great. What did she say?
She said spot on.
Wow. There we are. That's what we like to hear. All right, general read for Sweet and Salty. What's going on with Sweet and Salty? Sweet and Salty. What's going on with Sweet and Salty?
Instantly, I'm made aware, Sweet and Salty, of your career. So I don't know if you are in transition, thinking about transition, with this aspect of creative in relation to some change around career. So I'm going to pull a couple cards. That's interesting. Do you want to go ahead?
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah. All right. Now, what I've got for Sweet and Salty, I love that name. It's so clever. So when we look here, what do I get? I get the Queen of Cups. Yeah, the Queen of Cups. Now, this is an interesting card because the Queen of Cups is so it means that we're dealing with a creative person. So I would say there's a pretty good guess that Sweet and Salty is a creative, sensitive person. That's what the Queen of Cups is about. And also as well, the Queen of Cups, in her cup, she has also a cup of secrets as well. So this could literally symbolize sweet and salty. Yeah, if I would assume it's a lady, but you never know. But the cards, you don't always have to pay complete attention to the gender. It can also speak as well for a male. Anyone that is sensitive and creative can be represented by the Queen of Cups. So let's assume that this is sweet and salty. But look, the obstacle position that I have here is the 10 of Wands, yeah, which is work, graft, effort. It's just, it can often feel like one is burdened, but just a tremendous amount of effort is being put forth. So it seems like we've got a sensitive person here who feels like they're having to put forth tremendous efforts just in day-to-day life. It could be work, it could be career, it could be bills, could be almost anything, but there's this feeling of pressure and burden. And I think quite a lot of people are feeling that these days, especially with after the lockdowns and everything that's been happening. If we look here, we then get the 6 of Pentacles card. So it feels like that maybe Sweet and Salty might need to get a loan of some kind, yeah? Or is feeling like, oh God, maybe I need a handout or a stimulus check or, something like that. Sometimes this can also mean feeling generous enough to give to others and stuff like that. But because the hard work card has turned up in between that position, it would suggest maybe Sweet and Salty is feeling like I'm working very hard, but I don't seem to be getting much in terms of return for my efforts. Yeah, because it's like almost the little crumbs being dribbled there. There is a sense of nostalgia. Yeah, there's a sense of nostalgia for the past, maybe a feeling that things were better in the past, because also as well, but this can also speak about childhood, family, stuff like that. Could it be the case that maybe, you might have to go to the family for a loan, or maybe there's a kid that might need money or something like that. But either way, this can be about nostalgia, maybe kind of pre-lockdown. A lot of people's lives have changed since lockdown. But looky here. The outcome card is the 7 of Swords, yeah? Which is this sort of like little kind of scoundrel character, yeah, trying to get away with something here. Now, look, I don't want to make aspersions, yeah? I don't want to make aspersions on Sweet and Salty. But this is the way I interpret the card. I think, Sweet and Salty, you're going to have to use your cunning. Going to have to use your cunning. I'm not saying lie, steal, and cheat, but this is a very cunning card. Swords also as well deal with the mind. And one of the more obvious interpretations of this card is trying to get away with something, yeah? But when we're looking here, there is this aspect of family. So it could represent someone in the family, maybe trying to get away with something, or maybe they've done something which has caused a need for changing finances, something like that. So that could be the energy. But also as well, I think you're going to have to be shrewd and cunning with whatever your situation is now, using this up here. So that's my spin. What do you have for us?
Well, it's interesting. So I did read that they had said that they are retired. However, I do feel like there's this inner kind of I think you were saying the pressure. I pulled the anticipation card and the listen. And in that, I do feel like you, so in work, career, there still is something where you feel that call to be in contribution. So in that, I feel like the internal pressure of that is actually inviting you to step into it. And so the part around this is interesting, where you were talking about the 7 of the cunning card. Which one is that? The 7 of Swords?
7 of Swords.
7 of Swords. To me, there's that opportunity to be in communication. as far as working through that. But Spirit really wants you to know, it's the belief card, feels like the motivation, if you will, to really step into the energy of whatever that calling is around you being in contribution, call it work, career, passion project, that there's still that in you. And so that belief, work in the energy of that, be with the energy of that belief, that knowing, because there's still more for you in that contribution. And so it feels good. I feel like there is a creative aspect to that. So yeah, I can't shake that. I'm calling it career. But however you see that work, that contribution, it still feels like it's there. So that's that.
Interesting. Also, as well, I thought that came to my mind as well. Maybe it's an obvious one. Maybe the pension is not going far enough because of inflation.
Right. Yeah.
That would make that would also, because with the the way just looking at that, that's something as well that came to mind. But I hope that was helpful for you, and of course let us know if that hit the targets. So we did general read there. That was for sweet and salty. So sweet and salty, let us know if that was working for you. Now here we are. So this has come from Tal Ofek. So, and I'll click on that. Is my dear friend Maria has a message. So I think that obviously the friend, is there a message?
Yeah.
She passed over to the light last May. So, so for Tal, has the friend Maria have a message for Tal Ofek? Let me just see here if I just tune in. Message. Maria, what message do you have for Tal?
Tal, if you're here, would you understand? I'm feeling like illness throughout my body. And in that, I'm being made aware of the significance of the month of October. And I'm curious if you're seeing the numbers 3. So I know, yes, 3 is March as well, but also the series of 3s. And I'm being shown a white rose. So I'm curious in that, if you would understand that in connection to Maria, if you are still here. As far as a message, Tal, I feel not only would you understand Maria feeling a connection with nature, but there's an invitation for you to get back into nature. So even though the seasons are changing, there feels like a call, if you will, to be more in nature is what I'm getting. So and I feel it's there's a duality in that was something that she really enjoyed. And so she's inviting you to step into that, being in nature. So I'm curious if you would understand any of that information if you're here. And I haven't seen any response, but.
Interesting. Okay, shall I read my?
Go for it.
Yeah, this is my tarot splash on this. So obviously, I'm not a medium or anything like that. So I just go straight in with the cards. So the first card that I get here is the 6 of Wands, which is traditionally associated with victory and stuff like that. But I have to interpret this as it being like a message from Maria. So this is a card of confidence, holding your head high, and also as well in many ways of pride. So one of the ways that I interpret this is that Maria could be just saying, look, that she's actually proud of you. Yeah. quite simply in a way, because look, it's a card of victory, and it's come to symbol. It's the first card always symbolizes what the reading is all about. So if this is a message from Maria, this is her in a way kind of saying, look, I'm proud of you, proud of your efforts and your achievements. Yeah. Here, in this here, and I won't use it as an obstacle position in this case, because we're obviously talking this is someone who's passed over into spirit, so they're not going to be giving messages of obstacles per se. But what this could encourage is for you, Tal, to use all of your gifts and talents and powers at your disposal. Yeah. The magician card, major arcana, but this is about taking one's life into one's own hands. This is about personal power and courage and effort, and striking out and using your willpower, but every tool at your disposal. Also, as well, he's also speaking about the Hermetic truth, which is as above, so below. You see how the hands are positioned. So this can also mean as well taking divine inspiration. So here, these are two quite positive cards. Maria's saying she's proud of your achievements, but she's also saying take your life as well into your own hands and you to use your personal gifts and powers. Now, the next card that I get out here, now this one's turned up in reverse now, but this is the Ten of Pentacles, which can deal with legacies and money and big money and finances and stuff like that. But it can also deal with families as well. So there might be, Maria might be giving some advice in regards to a family legacy of some kind or something like that, or maybe something that's gone a little bit pear-shaped recently, and she might want you to focus on that, and particularly in regards to using your powers in regards to this reversed Ten of Pentacles. There's something here to navigate as well. So here we are, we've got, what's this? We've got the Eight of Swords. So there's a navigation here, or there might even be a feeling of perhaps potentially even being victimized by something that may have happened in the family, or to do with some kind of big corporation or company. However, the outcome card, look at this, Three of Wands. And you can see here, the person here is waiting for their ship to come in, but it also deals with speculation, business opportunities, things like that. So it's almost like, the way I would interpret this, Maria is encouraging you to look to the future. Maybe, you're overcoming this slightly sticky position that someone or something may have put you in. But ultimately, when we look at the message of the cards, it's very positive. So they're proud of your achievements, saying to use your skills and talents, and also as well, look to the future, particularly next year, new business opportunities, ideas, and entrepreneurship potentially. So that's my take.
Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. So supportive. And after I went, and then after you went, the feedback was, oh my God, I understand. Oh my God, yes. Yes, oh my God. They understand everything clearly. So that's wonderful.
Wonderful. That's brilliant. I'll have to try and click that up. Let's see if I can actually find that where we got the response. Oh gosh, the name's just gone out. So Tal, isn't it? Tal. Yeah. See if I can scroll down to where Tal said that, because obviously, there's lots of chat. Oh, someone said spot on here. Oh, that was, let's see. Oh, thank you. We'll talk. Julie, your questions next. I can't find the one there from Tal. Let's go to the next one, because it's always good to keep going. So here, Julie. So Julie had a consultation with me recently. So a big shout out to you. Oh, we went deep. Won't go into it, but it was a very special reading. So here Julie says, so hi guys, having vivid dreams and a voice telling me I was the power, but the power no more. Ooh. Who is telling me that and why? I think that's quite a juicy one, don't you think?
That is very juicy.
See what's going on.
We're gonna see, because I got a hit and I'm trying to see if I'm okay.
What's going on?
I do feel a male energy, Julie. I do hear. Yeah, my pendulum's saying yes.
Oh, bit pendulum action.
A little bit. Interesting. Now,
what's going on with this voice for Julie? What's this voice?
There's an aspect of Jesus in this, the energy of Jesus. So less in the biblical, if you will, but more in the energy of Jesus around this. And Julie, as I tune into this deeper, there's this energy of surrender. And we hear surrender a lot, and what it means for different people can be different things. But I'm aware of this aspect of surrender. And again, the invitation for some area in your life to just give up simply the control. So it feels like just being met with this resistance, this force, and you kind of wanting to change or fix or make different in this outcome, but it just doesn't feel like the right time. So the resistance just feels like it's not going to stop no matter what you do. So this invite for you to go into the surrender of just kind of stepping away is what I'm getting in that. And so I'm going to pull a card or two because like I said, I was aware of the energy of Jesus in this. And I think it's the surrender. Oh, interesting. My husband passed in October. He had degrees in religion and politics.
Oh!
Upside down, and I am in limbo. Interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. It's so interesting. I just got the full body chills, and I heard to pull a card. And so two things in this. One is the reaching out. So it's an interesting one because it's like in one, the surrender, but still but still able to be reaching out. So it does feel that the spirit world, and it might directly be your husband, Julie, that's working with you in this. I'm curious, and you don't have to go into the detail, but I keep being like the coming up against the wall and this pressure and this like resistance. And quite simply, I do feel the spirit world is really reaching out to you to just kind of take you in a little bit of a different direction. And you don't have to go into the detail of that, but that's what I'm getting. I'm clear on that one. They're really clear. So
very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. Again, I can't go into details because, the consultation that Julia and I had was private, but many of those themes, but particularly where you're talking about surrender, very, very interesting. I will let Julie obviously give her feedback on based on what you've said, but that is, I would say that is very congruent, shall we say, with many things that we discussed, particularly that theme of surrender. Now, my cards here are quite interesting. Yeah, they're quite interesting. So, quite a lot of cups. Now, cups, of course, deal with emotions. So if we look here, now, this in many ways symbolizes the whole reading. Now, actually, it can be quite a positive card. So this is an ace, and it's the Ace of Cups, and it deals with, it's all about relationships, but it's a sense of joy and a sense of overflowing with, it can deal with happiness, and it can deal with stuff like that, but also as well it can talk about a tremendous amount of emotion. So of course here there's lots of mixed emotions going on. Obviously Julie's husband sadly passed away recently, and that has actually of course generated a tremendous amount of emotion. But again, without going into too much details, there has been a certain kind of recent emotional rebirth as well within Julie as well. And look at the card that comes out first. However, if we look, the card that comes in the obstacle position here is the what's that? That is the Nine of Cups. Yeah, so it's like the wish fulfillment card, but it's almost like you got everything you could ever possibly want and stuff like that. But it has come in the obstacle position, so it can show a potential sense of loss in regards to those things, or maybe some of those hopes and dreams not feeling like they've kind of come to full fruition, especially in regards to a marriage or partnership. Yeah. Two of Cups. So again, so I think this is speaking actually very much about the recent passing of Julie's husband here. Now, the Ace of Pentacles here has come up, which of course is a card that deals with money and, you know, it can deal with large sums of money, you know, stuff like that. Sometimes it can also be referred to as fool's gold as well. However, because it's come here after the sort of marriage partnership card, it can also speak a lot in regards to expenses from marriage and partnerships and stuff like that. That can be the shadow side of it. However, maybe when there's an element of surrender, it could also clear the decks for new money to come through. However, look at this. In the outcome card, we have the Seven of Swords back again. So again, what does this mean? Now, when we're talking about Duck L'Orange and those political douchebags, yes, because they're normally trying to get away with something, yeah. But when we're talking about, you know, ordinary people, you know, nice people who aren't trying to absolutely, you know, fleece everyone, this for me again is the card of cunning. So Julie, keep your wits about you. Especially in regards to monies connected with your partner and his recent passing, or those that are connected. This could also be money institutions as well, banks or anything like that. So this is about staying on your toes, keeping your wits about you, and again, without me encouraging you into doing anything that would maybe break the law, I'm not saying that, but this is definitely about keeping your wits about you and keeping an eye as well for other people that may be trying to get away with things. So keep your vigilance. It's quite a funny message in a way, because on one level there is that element of surrender, where when you kind of let go, new financial opportunities can come forward, but at the same time you're having to keep your wits about you. So it's almost like letting go to the process but staying alert. And there could be, even in this loss, there could be financial opportunities on their way, but it might be unexpected in some way, or you might have to use your wit and cunning to get your hands on the you know what. So there we are. I leave it there.
If I could just add one more thing, Julie, and this is never like you get to decide. As I tuned into the energy of your husband, I felt this very calming energy, and I feel he is that for you. So that's still available for you in his energy. I felt it very calming, and it felt like the reminder of when emotions are really high, the choices that we make in our, you know, most intelligent moments, when the emotions are super high, our intelligence isn't as high. Let's just say that. So in that energy, I feel like he's really working with you to just slow it down. It doesn't feel like you have to make a decision like this very second. And in that reaching out, it does feel like there is this aspect of collaboration within the work. So in that, just lots of support. And then if I may, Hogarth, I just want to say a couple things. One was Elaine Waters. I see that I'm looking so forward to having a reading with your daughter tomorrow. Thank you for mentioning that. And then Tel, I did notice in the feedback, her friend Maria's lucky number was the 333, and March was the year that she was born. So thank you so much for that feedback. And that's for you. It's just to sometimes just allow us, to just be in that trust a little bit deeper, because their information just comes through so clear and beautifully. And it helps when we can receive it. So perfect.
Yes,
Perfect.
fascinating. Also, as well, I want to quickly say we can probably do about one more question. The hour is nearly gone already. Can you believe it? So, happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Mhm.
Happy Thanksgiving. And I just wanted to kind of say that to everyone because I think it's Thanksgiving tomorrow, isn't it? So, you know, I hope you guys have got some nice bit of turkey going on and some the usual accoutrements and food deliciousness that often accompanies these things. And what is it? There's always pecan pie, pumpkin pie, and all the
Pumpkin pie.
various. Yeah, lots of
Mhm.
bits and bobs and stuff like that. So I hope everyone has a fantastic Thanksgiving. Also, as well, quite a few people have commented about Duck L'Orange, saying that a lot of them are saying they've seen him kind of whoosh, leaving Earth School next year. Let's put it that way. Yeah, leaving Earth School.
Yeah.
So we shall see how that pans out. I've always said, everyone knows, I've said from the get-go, I said, Duck L'Orange, Trump will be the most litigated man in history. He's
Mhm.
already there, frankly, but it really will be. And I've always seen these pair of worn out pink play bunny slippers that have been chewed on by the dog and peed on by the cat. You know, it's all gone dry and crispy and stuff. That's what I've always been shown. So either way, and from 2023, the pressure is just going to build and build and build and build. But once they take those properties away, I mean, that's it. Like I said, I've always believed, I think Duck L'Orange would rather die than go to jail. Not that we're wanting to say that exactly, but
Yeah.
I cannot see. Can you imagine him wearing that orange jumpsuit and where we'll
No.
struggle to tell the difference between his head and his neck because it's all blending in? Do you know?
Right? It's hideous.
I can't see him wanting to stay in that scenario. So he either leave. Anyway, again for entertainment purposes only. So
Oh,
let's top and tail with a little bit of politics. So thank you guys for all of your questions, and the next time when Kevin's on, you know, we'll have your questions again. But someone here, so Connie B has asked, so will Abe Hamadeh and Kari Lake be told they lost by the judge? They're trying to sue to contest election results in Arizona. Typical. I said to everyone, this will not be the last we hear of Kari Lake.
mm.
I call her Kari Weathervane, by the way, because she just blows where the strongest political wind is going. So so let's have a look into that. Let me just see it again.
And who is the other person?
Connie B. And the other one is Abe. Abe. Oh, I said ABE. Abe Hamadeh. I've got no idea who that is, but I know who Kari Weathervane is. So so let's look at that. They lost. Will they? What's it? Will they be told they lost by the judge? They're trying to sue to contest the election results in Arizona. Oh, these people are just so shameless. All right. What does tell us, Spirit? Ooh, a jumper. Interesting. Money's involved. Let's put that there. Kari Lake. Oh, jumpy cards. Babe, okay. Kari Lake, Arizona, and
Now it's interesting. Is it certain that it will even be will go in front of a judge, or could it not go in front?
I think it is going in front of a judge.
Okay.
Gosh, these cards. Because obviously, you know, what's the Duck L'Orange playbook? Delay, contest, delay, or you know. Do you want me to go? I can go if
Yeah.
So the card that fell out was the Knight of Pentacles. Yeah. So this is talking about Oh, it's really interesting. First of all, it's a slow-moving card, yeah? So what is it? I don't know what is in the United States. I know America's a big country, but bloody hell, it really often does take a long time for these votes to be counted to come in. Also, as well, this is a card of money and manifestation. So this could also speak about the financial backing of Kari Lake and her cohorts. Also, though, this card can also mean the mercenary. Yeah, the mercenary. And in many ways, they're like mercenaries of Duck L'Orange. Yeah, so that was the card that fell out. It looks like Kari Lake and her cohort are a little bit worried, yeah, about stuff going on. They're putting on a brave face on it. You know, they pile themselves with inch thick makeup and they're like, come with a big attitude. But really, I think there's a lot of worry and concern, some sleepless nights going on here, because obviously they're worried if the judge is going to side with them or not. In the obstacle position, we have the Biden card. How funny is that? Yeah. The true winner of the election. And what is it they're always saying? Biden didn't win. Biden didn't win. Yeah, load of BS. So here's Biden here in the obstacle position. But look, they get the 5 of Cups, which deals with loss. Yeah, so there could be a loss and disappointment. Maybe the judge will confirm that they didn't win. Yeah, look here as well. Queen of Swords, yeah, which is also a card that deals with what? Judgment, justice, yeah. So it looks like there could potentially be a fair ruling, and then the outcome card that they get is death, yeah. So it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to physically die, of course, but really this could be what? The death, yeah, of their attempts to try and overturn this in court. So I'm just going to go with what the cards are saying. It looks like the judge may potentially say to them, no, yeah, and uphold the result. I can't see why not. And the cards do seem to be saying that this is the death of that idea. But you never know. If it were to be the other way around, then of course it would be the death of democracy, wouldn't it? But let's just hope it's the nicer one. What do you have, Kevin?
Yeah. Same thing. The first card that I pulled was the Scarecrow. So just all about that fear. And in that just feels like the motivation. It's not surprising that they're actually doing this. It doesn't feel surprising in the energy of it. I pulled the no card and that the answer will be within 3 months. So kind of the same as what you got.
Fascinating. So let's see how that goes. Oh my goodness. I need a comfort break. So, but anyway, the show has naturally reached its conclusion anyway. So I want to say to everyone, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Almost 300. Oh, it's about 280. So that, you know, that's good. That's good for Wednesday. Thank you, Kevin, so much for joining me. I look forward to being on your channel again. Yeah. And if anyone needs Kevin's details, there in the description below. Likewise, as well, if anyone would like a tarot consultation or astrology, those details are there below. Watch this space as well for December and stuff like that. I've got some announcements. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. And we will see you next time. So until the next time, thank you, everyone. And thanks for donations as well. See you soon. All right.
Bye, everyone.
Bye for now. Bye-bye.